Jaguar Wright. Girl, if you don't go sit your mother psycho ass down, and I don't believe nothing that bitch say. I don't believe she say. Y'all believe it because you don't know. If I didn't know no better, I think that bitch was a fed. Hey, Jaguar, you forgot this? You forgot this, Jaguar? You over there running your mother mouth, but you been at everybody's. That means you a snitch, bitch. She's annoying. She's annoying. And I don't trust this.
Don't wait. It's safe to say that nobody can be trusted at this point, not even Jaguar Wright, who claims to be an industry whistleblower ally, after Ali Carter exposed the industry with Jaguar and now accuses Jaguar of taking advantage of Diddy's victims and even attempting to rig the trial child. That will make you give Miss Jaguar Wright the side eye. Jaguar used to be one of the few people who stood up for Ali and supported her when people called her crazy, but Ali has never felt the same way about Jaguar and hasn't held back from telling everyone that she and Jaguar got into a fight not too long ago. People were shocked when she accused Jaguar of accepting money to manipulate the story surrounding Diddy because, if anything, you would expect them to support one another. Some of you may not be aware of this, but Jaguar was present on the first day of Diddy's trial, and she provided her own security just in case any of the reason Diddy wasn't caught years ago, she claimed, was because the police didn't look into him when they were looking into R. Kelly. According to Jaguar, they are closely related, and if the police had looked into Diddy as well, he would have been in jail at the time R. Kelly was arrested.
I do believe there's going to be a lot of curveballs. I do believe there's going to be a lot of interesting things, and what I will say is, be vigilant. We're getting started.
Is this a reckoning for the music industry?
Oh, it needs to be. And if it wasn't, I hope my presence starts that.
This case that happened in the R. Kelly case, because if that had been properly addressed, this would have been addressed back then. These people have been working together, all in cahoots for all of this time, and it needs all to be addressed. I'm glad it's not just me anymore. I'm glad it's someone else. I'm glad there are other people who need to be heard. I'll be sure. I'm glad they're hearing him, Cassie. I'm glad they're hearing her, Kim Porter. Through, I'll be sure. I'm glad. Natanya Rubin, I'm glad. All of these things. So yeah, it's mixed emotions, but I just know when you pray for something and God answers it, you should be.
Ali claims that Jaguar is a fraud who only appeared in court that day to manipulate the case and make it about herself rather than the victims, particularly the children. She claimed that Jaguar was being paid by the industry to make up these stories to assist them in eliminating particular individuals. Since Jaguar was already bought off a long time ago, Ali claims that she is the only genuine whistleblower remaining. When Ali made her claim, people took some time to comprehend what she was attempting to say, because for the longest time, we've only known Jaguar to be truthful. Therefore, Ali turning around and accusing Jaguar of receiving payments was definitely not on our bingo cards. Nevertheless, after some investigation, people discovered that, in contrast to Jaguar, there was some truth in what Ali was saying. Ali has no desire to make a big deal out of herself or make the argument more about her then. In contrast to Jaguar, who, whenever she speaks, veers off topic, Ali has consistently focused her videos on the victims, particularly the children. Ali was the first to reveal details of Diddy's notorious all-black party, claiming that it featured Diddy and his friends caressing children, particularly black children. However, it turns out that the party's name wasn't because everyone was black. Oh no. It was Diddy's ring ally claimed to know because she was coerced into attending one of these parties at the age of 15 and made to perform tasks with adult men and women, demonstrating that the majority of the children who were going to be sacrificed and coerced into those wild freak-offs were black children who had either been abducted or shipped into the nation.
The celebrities, there's a lot of different people. They called it an all-black party, but it was mainly because a lot of the party favors were black kids. I was in the care of Riverside County Child Protective Services at the time. I was 15, barely 16. Things of me that probably don't make sense, but I was a kid. in this, all of this situation, everything that we're talking about, everything that I've been talking about, I was under the age of 8.
It comes out that some of these children were brought into the nation from other states and nations, while others were abducted from the streets. Can you imagine how? Even more bizarre is Allie's claim that some of Diddy's friends harbored a desire for the jerk. Many children, and that they would specifically choose a small number of the boys and feed them items that would irritate their stomachs in order to. During the freak-offs, they would develop acute diarrhea, and to make matters worse, they would force these boys to lie in feces and record
Watching an episode called Pig Night, when I went, they tried to feed us, and I remember it because when
Pig
you
night.
have to do
Say what?
orders, jobs like that, you don't eat. You're not allowed to eat. You actually have to like starve yourself, because when you have to do those type of jobs, you can't eat because you will throw up.
Really?
If you are doing, or if you are a guy doing it, you will shit everywhere.
Oh boy.
When this happens, your parents will get mad at you. Really mad at you. And if that is a fetish for someone, they use that to their advantage. So if you throw up on someone,
She claimed that some of the black children were unalive for demonic rituals so they could bathe in the children's scarlet fluid and stay young, but the freak-offs weren't the only reason they used them. The claims that famous people use little people have been doing rituals to stay young for a long time, and Allie was now giving us all the specifics of how it actually happened, but it didn't stop there, you know. According to Allie, these individuals were also forced to participate in BDSM practices with animals. While the rites were taking place, Diddy videotaped and touched himself. It appears that they bound and hung them in metal chains. Allie did not say where the ceremonies were taking place, but she claimed to have seen all of these things while working in the industry, and the majority of these children did not survive. And those that survived undoubtedly did not return to their previous state.
but right now, I think a lot of people are not ready for someone to tell you that there are 3-4-year-olds that people take pride in sticking bars up children. I don't think people are going to be able to stomach the fact that people tie 2, 3, 4, 5-year-old children to horse stables and have horses and dogs raise them, and then they get off on that. I don't think people are going to be able to stomach the fact that people hang children upside down in satanic ritual abuse meetings, and they literally hang them, literally by metal prongs. They hang them to get blood dripping out of them, and people go up under and like you're under a rainfall to take their blood. There are situations that I don't think people are ready for. We're not touching the seriousness of trafficking. Like the videos that I've made, the videos that I've started to make, this is not even touching. This is the gist of it, and I think so many people are quick to raise a sign and say adrenochrome, but you don't know what it means, and you don't know why it's such a thing, why it's such a strong thing in trafficking, and what makes it so strong. What, you know that they're drinking children's blood, but you don't know what they're doing to those children to make their blood strong enough to cause something to flip your system in order to keep you in the fountain of youth. No one believes that because it sounds like an unreal horror Disney movie that someone wrote. You know what I'm saying?
It kind of is.
Now, people assumed that since Jaguar and Allie are both committed to exposing the business whenever they can, they would team up to further penetrate it, but Allie wasn't having it. Jaguar, on the other hand, was originally on Allie's side when Allie first came out. She was among those who stood up for Allie. However, as I mentioned, Allie didn't care because she believed Jaguar was being bought off to do what she does. People, assumed that since Jaguar and Ali are both committed to exposing the business whenever they can, they would team up to further penetrate it, but Ali wasn't having it. Jaguar, on the other hand, was originally on Ali's side when Ali first came out. She was among those who stood up for Ali. However, as I mentioned, Ali didn't care because she believed Jaguar was being bought off to do what she does.
Part of being silenced.
I'm sure she is. I hope it's not my fault. I made an outcry to her that I'm willing to talk to her.
Goes into witness protection. We'll never see her again. Allie Carter, wherever she is, she's safe right where she is. I can tell you right now, the second that you put your life in the government's hands, you're up for grabs. Because all it takes is one corrupt government official who's been paid very well to handle up on you, and then all of a sudden, leave Allie Carter alone. And leave me alone. Do you know what a score that would be for the Illuminati if they could get me and Allie Carter together at the same time?
Says that since people began listening to her, Jaguar has been subtly threatening her. She says that at first, she didn't understand why Jaguar would be pressed when they are both trying to reveal the truth. When she finally put things together and understood that Jaguar didn't genuinely care about the victims, regarding her receiving more attention. After all, they were both pursuing the same goal.
Threats. A lot. A lot. Mainly from big kitties. Here, kitty, kitty, kitty.
However, this was only the beginning. Everyone, as she attacked Jaguar for allegedly being a scammer and getting a lot of money to post the things she did online, claiming that Jaguar is a paid jerk who is rapped. She dresses up as a truth teller to trick people into believing she is. But in reality, she is simply another created liar who has been given the opportunity to mislead.
Wolves in truth teller clothing. Here, kitty, kitty. Here, kitty, 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 kitty.
Holy argues that Jaguar is making money off of people's suffering while portraying herself as the good guy. She adds that if her finances run low, Jaguar seems to make these ludicrous claims, and once people start paying attention to learn more, she begins requesting payment before speaking. Ali asserts that if Jaguar were truly about the truth, she wouldn't require payment before exposing the industry. And she would go ahead and do so, given the children's lives are at risk.
Those wolves in truth teller clothing. They want you to give them a Patreon subscription fee, all the money, and I think people have got into this mindset of if I want the truth, I have to pay money for it. For a waiver from the children, a lot. How many times do they tell you about the children? How many times do they tell you to get up for the children? How many times do they call you to action for the children? How many times do they not waiver from the children unless it's trending? When do they talk about the children? Do they only talk about it when it's trending? If they're talking about trending, do they talk about the children? Here, I don't believe in panthers. I believe in a kitty kitty. I know. I've lived with them. I've dealt with them. So I know how they work. If they don't get their way, they point fingers. When they don't get their way, they pull things like Jay-Z pulled when he all of a sudden he don't.
She wasn't going to stand by and let Ali drag her for dirt like this. Without saying a word, she went live and gave Ali a firm warning to stop using her as a clout because she wasn't the one or two. She threatened to drag it on with her to the very end if Ali continued.
Chase me. Even if it is for your protection. I am not Lamisha Fuller. I'm not running around lying on you, trying to convince people you got stuff. Do I want any arms above all you? Absolutely not. But if you're looking for protection.
Later, Jaguar jumped on another interview and attacked Ali once again, claiming that, in contrast to Ali, she truly has receipts for the stuff she claims to have and doesn't just make things.
Yet everywhere I point and tell people to go look, they found something that was hidden, thrown down in the algorithm, sitting right there online, right in front of their very faces. I don't really have much feeling about stupidity. It's just stupidity. What do you mean coming? It's always been here. People have chosen to ignore it. Things are about to get real and they're not going to be able to ignore it anymore. That's all.
One person stated, "Now I'm not going to lie, I'm with Jaguar on this one because sis has definitely called a lot of things way before it happened. So I think it's fair for us to give her credit for that. It is evident that Allie is not playing with Jaguar at all, and it doesn't appear that she will stop coming for her. I think Allie Carter isn't doing this for profit or because she's clout chasing." Someone else said, "I think she's genuinely concerned and is pleading for the safety of those children because her life is unstable and she has to keep moving because her life is at risk or in jeopardy." What do you think about Allie accusing Jaguar of being a fraud? Do you think Jaguar was trying to rig the trial? Let me know what you think in the comments section below, and don't forget to click here to watch this other messy video.